My next guest is a true survivor. No matter what life has thrown at Kathie Lee Gifford, she has handled it with dignity and grace and that big smile of hers. And now she faces one of her biggest challenges yet. And how she handles it can inspire us all. Kathie Lee, come on out. It's the longest walk in television.
Hi, everybody. Thank you.
Oh, I love having you here.
I love being here. You're the nicest audience. You really do.
Well, I love them
Good to see
too.
y'all.
So I'm going to start with a tough question.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Just to be serious for a second. Hoda or Regis? Who's the better co-host?
I'm not going to answer that one. How about I say it this way? What kind of a human being gets blessed like that twice in one lifetime?
Very well stated. Very well stated. I really think you are. I love them both dearly, and I know why they love you.
Well, you know, the reason I didn't come back to television until I did is that I thought I had the greatest 15 years of television I could possibly do with Reg.
Yeah.
You know, legendary. He broke the mold.
I love this photo of you guys, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, that's way, way back. And I think that's before my kids. And I don't even remember back then. And Hoda has just reminded me that you never say never. You know?
Never say never.
Yeah, she's just become a cherished friend to me the same way Regis has. So I'm blessed. You know that.
Well, you bring out the best of people, too. So part of it's you.
Thank you.
I was surprised that folks were worried about your weight of late.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, it almost borders into body shaming because you're too skinny.
No, it didn't border. It went right in.
Right in. What was that about?
I don't know. I think I've been around for such a long time that people have a certain way of looking at me. And maybe what they didn't realize that I was preparing for a movie that I wrote, that I was writing for my friend Craig Ferguson and me to do. And the character is named Annabelle, and she's a newly widowed, and she is a runner. She deals with her pain. She's always been a runner, but she deals with it by running. And I started getting in training for that long before I started shooting the movie. The time to get ready for a movie role is not the day you start shooting. So I started doing that about a year earlier when I started writing the movie. And I'd lost weight right after my own husband had passed away because that's why they call it a diet. You know?
Oh, no. Mm-hmm. Yes.
They die, and you don't want to eat.
No.
You don't want to. I don't even remember eating after Frank passed. I remember people putting food in front of me and people being concerned. And, of course, you eat to live. And I've never been a huge eater. It's just, I was 104 pounds when I married Frank. You know, so I'm tiny boned anyway, but it's been a long time since I married Frank, and I'd been through menopause and other things, and you gain the weight, and then all of a sudden, I'm living in my big house, my big lovely house that we built together and built a family together in, and all of a sudden, he's not there. My children are in California. My parents are now gone on to glory, and I feel like, my gosh, I know I'm a widow, but now I'm an orphan too, and I'm an empty nester, you know, all at once. And so, you know, but I was in training for this film, and I'd lost, I guess, about 20 pounds over the 3-year period. But I lost it, you know, in a healthy way. So
what you say creates so many questions in my mind. So first off, what did you do with the body shamers? How did you quiet it all down?
You know what I thought about it? I said, what am I really guilty of? If I've lost that much weight, what is it saying about the people that say something cruel about that? Usually, a nice person is going to be happy for you that you found a way to deal with your pain and your grief, and that you're in better shape than you've been in years because you're working at it. I'm not taking diet pills. I'm not doing anything that's unhealthy for me. So what does it actually say about the person that has to put you down constantly? Yeah. You know what? You know this. Hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
And I just pray for them. I woke up one morning, I thought, yes, I'm healthy, I'm fit, I'm happy, so sue me. I didn't mean it in a nasty way I just like, who doesn't everybody want to be that? Yes. You know, and I think we live too in a world today where so many people feel entitled to everything. I didn't feel entitled to be in the best shape of my life. I had to go out and get in the best shape of my life. And people want an instant everything to everything, and it doesn't work that way. The old-fashioned way is the best way.
Yes, it works, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I tell my daughters when they hear harsh comments, especially on social media, is that what other people say about you is none of your business.
Exactly.
And just keep moving, and ultimately people figure it out. They'll understand. People care about you.
Yeah.
Well, come on. So hey, that's the first. Second question, you mentioned this movie. We'll just take 2 seconds on this.
Yes,
Craig
it's called
Ferguson.
Then Came You.
Yeah, and I love him, by the way, Craig Ferguson. But I never thought of him as a theatrical actor. I think he was a
Oh
comedian.
my gosh, wait till you see him in this movie. He is brilliant. And I've always adored him.
But was it difficult writing about a woman who's lost her husband?
No.
And acting in it, it's almost recreating what happened to you.
But I didn't at all. I was fascinated by, first of all, Annabelle is completely different from myself. Annabelle is, the only thing I have in common with her is that she's newly widowed. I'm not freshly widowed. She has been a widow for a year. Her dreams never came true. She married into a sort of a lifeless, passionless marriage. She loved her husband. They had a hardware store in Nantucket for 31 years. Then I'm not going to say anything about the movie, but that's completely different from, all of my dreams came true beyond what I could have ever hoped for. But a lot of people, so many people go through life, they've settled. They've settled for whatever reason, and they've got dreams left to do, and they know that the clock is ticking, and that's Annabelle. I was fascinated by writing an entire project about people that are so different from myself, and I loved every minute of it.
The part of your life that's always fascinated me is how you stay connected, even when you might think that loneliness could creep in. So 3 years ago, you lost Frank, that wonderful human being. You don't have your parents. You're in this house. And after 3 years, people who feel badly that you lost your loved ones stop calling you about that. So you actually get left behind sometimes by people you used to hang with. So do you ever feel lonely? And how do you handle that?
Oh my goodness, yeah. No, that is probably the one thing in my life that is the hardest. The hardest is I go through crippling loneliness, crippling, to the point that I don't want to do anything, and I'll say no to everything because I don't want to go out. You know, the world is full of couples. You look around and it seems to be full of couples, and when you've been defined as a part of a couple for so many years, all of a sudden I don't want to go to parties and walk in by myself. Yeah. It's not that I can't. I'd be fine. I just don't want to, you know? And so I have to pray myself through that stuff. I'm blessed with tremendous friends who just get a feeling in their own spirits about, I better call Kath. Something tells me. And they'll call me, and darn if it isn't when I'm out in the backyard sobbing or something. Usually, you know, sunsets are hard for me. I can cry even talking about it right now. Ever since Frank and I started dating, sunsets, we love sunrises and sunsets. And we used to always say, sunset alert, and we'd go out and we'd toast to the sunset and thank God for another beautiful day. Then when our kids came along, we go, sunset alert, no matter where the kids were, anywhere in the house. Everybody had to come, be together, and toast. Not with, the kids weren't drinking vodka, okay? Toast, just take a moment to thank God for the day that you just had. And so now I have the most exquisite sunsets at my home, and they're just magnificent, and I'm out there at times, and I'm grateful when I get there, grateful. All of a sudden, I'm crushed by the fact that it's not just Frank, but my kids too. And there is that crippling loneliness. But even that is something that's normal, it's natural. I don't try to fill it up with stuff that's arbitrary. You know, if God wants to bring something into my life later in my life that fills that, then that's up to him. I'm not going online. I don't like to be set up. I won't do any of that stuff. I won't do any of it.
But if God brought along the right man.
Or puppy.
Or puppy. But since I asked about men, let me start there. If the right guy came along, would you be interested?
You know what? I'd have to wait and see who that person is. And of course, I'm open to whatever blessing God has for me in my life. I think a lot of people are intimidated by strong women in the world today. They think that they'll get lost in the you of you.
Yes.
But in love, there's a line in the song that Brett James and I wrote. It's our new single called Once Again. It says, you don't find love. Love finds you. In the midst of a moment, right out of the blue, it sneaks up on your heart, hardly making a sound, till all of a sudden you find you've been found. And that's the way love should happen. I'm going to wait until it's in God's timing for my life.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, so and when we come back, I want to talk about this book, which I've been taking advantage of. Kathie Lee's newest project is all about the gift that God gives us. What does she think her greatest gift from God is? I'm going to offer you my thoughts as well.
Besides you?
Besides me, and lots more. And she wants you to know how to find your gift from God as well. So stick around, that's next. We're back with one of my all-time favorite people, the amazing Kathie Lee Gifford. And she's written a beautiful new children's book called The Gift That I Can Give, which I get to read to my grandkids. I had a softback over this, a paperback before this came out.
Right, it comes in 2 versions, right.
So the message of this book is really important for kids and for their parents. So if you don't mind, share it with everybody.
Yeah, it's a little book that's based on a children's musical that I wrote last year called The Little Giant, the story of David and Goliath. There's a song at the end of it called What is Your Stone? What did David pick up and throw at Goliath? He knew exactly what he had to do to conquer the giant in his life. Kids have giants too. We as adults have giants. But I believe with all my heart that everything we're ever going to need in life we already have when we are fearfully and wondrously created in our mother's womb, in that quiet, silent place the Bible talks about. So David had been fighting lions and bears long before he fought Goliath the giant. He already had his gift. And everybody else is cowering on the mountainside, terrified of the giant. Why is a 12-year-old little boy not afraid? Because he didn't have religion, he had relationship. Religion was what had everybody cowering up on the mountain. David had relationship with the living God. He knew exactly what he had to do. And I wanted to raise my children that way. I think the wrong question is to say to a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? I think the much better question is, what has God already prepared you to do with your life? And how can you co-create with him to make sure that happens? So it kind of helps kids, takes the burden off,
When did you know that God's gift to you was your remarkable ability to connect, and not just connect, but take it to a deeper level? You have that fabulous talent to be able to get us to focus on what really matters beneath the surface. And you've been 44 years you've been entertaining America. By the way, I found this picture. Look at this. I love this.
Oh my gosh.
Right? To name that tune. This is
1977. That's Tom Kennedy. That was so long ago. You have to forgive me. I am a senior citizen.
but when did you realize you had that talent, that God had given you that?
I didn't know that it was a talent. I just knew it was what I loved to do. That's your talent, is what you love, love, love to do.
In my life, I've always felt that I was most passionate about things I could really focus on. I'd always zone out. That's why I had to match that to heart surgery.
Yes.
I don't even know what other kind of medicine I would have practiced. That's the one thing I could do.
Hours and hours and hours.
But I liked that, and it would make me joyous to feel that. Yes. And I believe I was destined for that. The talk show actually is much more similar to doing heart surgery than you would ever imagine. But so thankfully. But how does the average person watching right now find what that God-given gift is?
Oh, you know what? First of all, you pray. Everything starts with a prayer. Lord, show me. They don't have to be long, drawn. God doesn't expect you to know how to, do. He's busy too. He doesn't need the long ones. He just said, Lord, show me. What's my gift? Do I have one? A lot of people have been so beaten down by life that they don't even remember what it was like when they were a child to do something fun. A lot of people have had such bad childhoods that they don't have a memory of it. Yes. So they need God's help. But they do know what makes them happy. They do know what they like to watch. They do know what interests them. So start there. And you don't maybe going to have a profession doing it, but start with continuing to do the things that just on a regular basis bring you joy, right? I mean, there's the song that I told you about it goes, let me start it right. What is your stone? Where will you throw it? What is your gift? How will you know it? What is the one thing that you can do that no one else can do but you? What is your stone?
Oh my goodness.
Because there's something you can do, something you can do, I can do.
I love having you here. God
I love
bless
you.
you.
Thank you, darling.
Kathie Lee's new children's book, The Gift That I Can Give, is available now. And by the way, all the proceeds go to charity. God bless you for doing that as well.
Yeah, to Child Help. Their 60th year battling child abuse. God love them.
God bless you for doing that. And of course, you can see her every weekday morning on Today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new videos to live the good life.